So I just got done watching a clip from MTash Clip Channel. He's a Genshin Impact streamer and video creator. His video title was Why Honkai Star Rail is Doomed to Fail. Emphasis on the doomed to fail. And I want to talk about that in this video. First of all, I'm not saying direct any hate, or I never condone any type of hate. I actually like MTash as a creator. I think he makes pretty good videos. I actually want to talk about what he said in the video in this video, okay? And that is Honkai Star Rail being doomed to fail. And the reason why he said Honkai Star Rail is doomed to fail is because there is no standout feature for Honkai Star Rail. When you look at a game like this, it's very niche in three ways, okay? And each time it kind of gets more niche and narrows even more the audience itself, okay? So the very first reason why Honkai Star Rail is niche is because it's a gacha game, okay? Most people don't like gacha games, contrary to what you believe. And this maybe is not true in, overseas areas, right? They like gacha games more so than areas in North America or like any other global area in the world, okay? Most people don't like gambling, okay? They just don't like it. And whether or not you agree the Honkai or any type of gacha game is gambling, who cares, all right? And so that already makes the actual audience niche, okay? And then you look at, the fact that Honkai Star Rail is a turn-based game. Not everyone likes turn-based combat. There's games like Genshin Impact where you have exploration, and of course I'm going to compare it to Genshin Impact because it's made by the same developers. You have a game like Genshin Impact where you have exploration, you traverse the world, and you're constantly exploring, right? So you're playing that game, you have something called freedom of choice. Honkai Star Rail, there is no freedom of choice. Everything you do in the game is kind of set in stone. You just have to follow the path that is set for you. In Genshin Impact, there is no path set for you. You crave your own path. And so that's why Honkai Star Rail is niche, because it's a turn-based game. So since it's even more niche just by being a gacha game, the audience for this game narrows even more. And then you're left with the fact that this game, comparative to other turn-based gacha games, does not have a form of repeatable content that players will constantly strive to actually beat. Even if it's the illusion of beating it, they still have the sort of mentality that they will eventually beat that content. And Toshi, just say it, PvP. Honkai Star Rail does not have PvP. Nearly every other turn-based gacha game has a form of PvP, player v player. Now the question of the matter is, why would they have PvP in those games? Because PvP, whether you like it or not, is very easy to implement in a turn-based strategy game. You have two players on opposite sides. One player has a playstyle and another player has a different playstyle. And these players with their different playstyles will try and beat the other side, the opponent, whatever. And so eventually one side wins because of their mechanics or maybe their skills or maybe their gear, the relics, maybe the amount of money they spend in the game. But the fact of the matter is that exists, and for a lot of people that is very enjoyable of an experience. In Honkai Star Rail, most of the experiences you'll go through is just playing against bosses that you will beat eventually if you just maybe upgrade relics. You will beat eventually if you just get that extra constellation on your team to boost up your seal. Maybe it is getting more character upgrades. You're missing a couple talents because you have to keep farming, so a week later you go and get the talents you need to finally crown your character, and then all of a sudden you're able to beat the actual content. And then once you beat it, it's done. It's one and done. So with there being no true repeatable form of content that players can constantly strive to improve their account and actually beat eventually, or even have the illusion of beating, so PvP, Honkai Star Rail has an even more niche audience. And that audience does not exist. There is no audience for this game. There just isn't. The people that will play this game most likely play other games, but there will be no community around Honkai Star Rail. You look at a game like Genshin Impact, and Genshin Impact has this community. I remember I went to like a convention and I saw all the Genshin Impact cosplayers, and I thought it was cool, seeing everyone. I saw like Eula cosplay and I thought the girl was pretty hot, I'm not gonna lie. And then I saw like a cosplay for like, Beto, and I saw a cosplay for like Nilu, and then you see all these different like merchandise and this and that, and it's a good time. because there's a community behind the game. And then you look at a game like Honkai Star Rail and it's like, where's the audience, right? Like, most people, believe it or not, that are not in these overseas countries, right, do not enjoy turn-based games, do not enjoy gacha games. I believe most people play Genshin Impact and realize it's not even a gacha, or don't even know it's a gacha game. They just play the game. And if they don't get the character they want, then they continue trying. They don't even know it's a gacha game. I don't even think people even looked at the rates. And so, what I'm trying to say is, why is Honkai Star Rail trying to cave an audience that does not exist? And you could argue, okay, Toshi, that audience already exists. Because there's games like Epic 7 that have players that ignore the PvP side of the game and just play the PvE. So I'm going to hit you with this counter argument. If that's the case, why is Hoyoverse not allowing there to actually be a PvP game mode that players can choose to ignore? Just like in Epic 7, just like in Summoner's War, just like in Artery Gear Fusion, just like in Raid Shadow Legends. Why is Hoyoverse not adding a PvP game mode where players can choose to ignore it and just complete the PvE side of the game? And the truth of the matter is that Hoyo wants to... There was like a video that came out a while ago, and it was Hoyo talking about how they want to create games that caters to people that are lonely. So they create these games with these amazing stories that create these main stories that have these very in-depth, diverse character designs, character models, character backgrounds, character personalities, and then they have these like mechanics in the game to psychologically trick you into believing you need something versus you want something, but you actually believe you need it even though you don't need it. And so they have a lot of psychology behind their games. This is no surprise. We all know this. If you didn't know it, well, you know it now. And so we go back to the MTash video or clip I mentioned in the beginning of this video. MTash saying how Honkai Star Rail is doomed to fail. And I don't want to say that Honkai Star Rail is doomed to fail. I think when this game releases, just like any game that releases, it's going to have a very strong launch. The initial launch for the game is going to be very strong. We're going to see lots of views for creators. You're going to see lots of views for Twitch streamers. You're going to see lots of people talking about the game, tweeting about the game, playing the game with their friends. Well, you can't play the game with your friends because there's no co-op mode, but that's a different video, okay? There's going to be a lot of people actually talking about and playing the game. So there's going to be a lot of actual engagement when it comes to Honkai Star Rail on release. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is, where is the longevity of this game? So the fact of the matter is, they can add in-game content that players can strive to complete. But there's always going to be the feeling of, no matter how many times you add PvE content, the initial core gameplay of the game is the fact that it's a turn-based game. And you look at other turn-based games, whether or not you want to call it a real-time strategy, turn-based, it literally has turn-based elements, real-time strategy added into the mix. You look at all the other games that act as this game, and whether or not they're 2D or 3D doesn't matter. Those games have a form of content that players will eventually tackle if they choose to do so, right? If they choose to do so. Remember, if you don't do it, then you're the exception, not the rule. And that's okay. I believe every player should play the game how they want to play it. But as of right now, this game does not have freedom of choice. Because you're very limited in what you can do in this game. Versus a game like Genshin Impact, you're going to be playing this game and you're going to be like, dang, I really wish, like, you're going to play this game and you're like, wow, it feels like Genshin Impact, but it feels like Genshin Impact on steroids. You're going to eventually come to the point where you have nothing to do. You're not going to know what to do. Everything is going to be really easy because the actual progression in this game, from what I saw, sucks. You'll have a lot of relics and gear on your account, on your characters. Your characters will be built up pretty well. You'll be able to tackle every bit of content in the game without really having to break a sweat. I remember there was an OK Code stream a while back. You know, OK Code, he's like a popular Genshin Impact streamer. He played Honkai Star Rail in the beta. He had an account with like Seal, and he's in like Asia servers, so I believe they can spend money on the game. If he went on the CN server, I don't know. Maybe he did, so he was able to spend money on the game. But he was one-shotting everything with Seal, the Bronya combo, and if you look at something like that, it's like, dang, that's just like Genshin Impact. you'll beat everything in the game without really having to break a sweat, because all it really is just a stat check. And so, to end the video here, I want to ask you all a question. What is the target audience for Honkai Star Rail? The truth of the matter is, you can't answer that. Because you have to take everything into consideration. You could say, oh, the target audience is casual players. Okay, but why, if that's the case, if target audience is casual players, then why are they trying to release the game globally? To make the most money they can. And everywhere but overseas apparently are not casual gamers, okay? So I don't know why people still make that argument when it comes to gacha games like this. I just don't know why. Because the truth of the matter is, Hoyo is just trying to make the most money possible. It doesn't matter whether or not people are casual that play their games. They just want to make money, right? So you look at it like this. What is the actual target audience of this game? And the truth of the matter is, the target audience is people that are very emotionally and psychologically vulnerable, right? That is the core audience of these games. That's pretty much how I want to end the video. This was oh my god, this is probably going to be my most disliked video, but it's something I want to talk about, and I will pretty much answer this question for myself. Should Honkai Star Rail have PvP? In my opinion, yes, it should have PvP. Power creep is something that's going to inevitably happen in any game. And if it doesn't happen in your game, then you're not going to have a purpose for pulling the game, for pulling characters in the game, so then it's going to be even more of a wow, what the fuck do I do in this game? And with this being a strategy, a turn-based game, a gacha game, a game with no PvP, is going to be super duper niche, where the audience for this game is just like, what? I don't know. There may not even be a community behind this game. And that's how I want to end this video here. But I believe that this game should have PvP. If it's implemented sometime later down the line, I would love to see it. I would love to see them have a balanced team behind it. That'd be great. I really do believe this game has potential to actually be PvP because of the actual speed side itself, the various different play styles that is in the game, and the break mechanic. I don't even think this game needs a break mechanic. Just have HP bars, for crying out loud. I think that's fine enough. That's it. That's the video. I will have a team building guide video coming out in the near future, so look forward to that. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend. Peace.